the OnePlus 5 and iPhone 7 Plus. Both phones have two rear cameras, one that is standard angle, the other a telephoto. This gives both phones a 2x optical zoom and a nifty feature called portrait mode. But how do they compare? We took the dual camera twins out in the Mission here in San Francisco for an old-fashioned camera battle royale. Even though they have two rear cameras, the standard angle will be the one used most. Images from both phones are really good, and yet each has its own character. Pictures from the iPhone look more natural and had a cooler tone. Images from the OnePlus had a bit more contrast and saturation. The OnePlus had more detail but suffers a bit from motion blur. The iPhone with its optical image stabilization shot images that were consistently sharper and in focus. So, both phones have dual cameras and use them to simulate background blur, also known as portrait mode. Neither phone was perfect, but the iPhone yielded better results, especially for pictures of people. Portraits looked natural and had better fall-off from in-focus to out-of-focus areas. The OnePlus 5 portraits had less background blur and sometimes looked patchy. When it did nail a shot, images were flat. Though, the OnePlus 5 lets you use portrait mode much closer to a subject, which led to lots of nice shots of food and inanimate objects. The iPhone and OnePlus 5 offer 2x optical zoom. The 20 megapixel resolution of the OnePlus gives it the edge here, with zoomed in images looking a tad sharper and having more detail than those in the iPhone. When shooting a burst mode, the iPhone was the Energizer Bunny and kept going and going. The OnePlus, on the other hand, stopped after 20 images, and I missed important moments when the burst ran out. Both phones take wonderful macro photos, but the OnePlus has the slight edge because its minimum focus distance is 3 inches instead of 3.5 on the iPhone. So you can really see the detail in that s'more you're about to eat. Both phones shoot slow motion and 4K video, but I gotta give the edge to the iPhone. It can shoot 120 frames per second at 1080, the OnePlus only 60 frames per second. And the iPhone has optical image stabilization, which takes the bounce and shakes out of your videos. It looks like a dolly shot. We took the phones into indoor mini golf to test low light. And hands down, the OnePlus took much better low light pictures than the iPhone. Its images had more contrast and less visible noise. At the end of the day, you can see that both phones are neck and neck in the images they take. But there's one more factor to keep in mind. The OnePlus 5 we shot on cost $330 less than the iPhone 7 Plus. So, yeah, there's that.